Hi, it's Ann, and it's nice to be talking with you. You know, lately I've had a little more time at home than usual, and I've been doing some research into my own life, reading old journals, looking at old photos, and it's bringing me a good feeling. But reading old journals doesn't always give us an uplifting feeling. Sometimes it feels like there's a dragon waiting in there to rip our heads off. Well, that's what happened to my student Phoebe. She was rereading some old journals, reliving an earlier time in her life, and suddenly she felt her whole body rigid with tension. In fact, her stomach was so tight with tension that she felt almost nauseated. She felt like pushing the journal away from her. It was like some part of her just wanted to push away that whole time in her life. Well, in the old days, Phoebe might have walked around for days with a tense stomach, and it might have turned into a headache as well. But drawing on what she'd learned from me, Phoebe did something different this time. She paused, and she noticed what had happened. Something in the journal had triggered this reaction. And at first, she didn't know what, but that was okay. She didn't have to know what it was in order to acknowledge that something had happened. Acknowledging is so powerful. And then it became clear she was reading about a time in the past when she did some things she wasn't proud of. She hadn't done a very good job of living by her own values. Phoebe was feeling shame and utter rejection of her former actions. So she acknowledged this part of her that she could feel so strongly in her stomach using these words, something in me. Something in me is feeling ashamed and rejecting of my actions back then. And it's worried that I might do something like that again. See, do you see what's going on? Rather than being at the mercy of her tight stomach and her nauseated feelings, Phoebe turned toward that part of her and acknowledged it. That allowed her to dialogue with it and learn more what was bothering this part of her so much. It was worried that she would be crushed, annihilated, and destroyed if she ever did those things again. Wow, strong language, but that's how this part of her felt. And if it was afraid that she might be crushed, annihilated, and destroyed, then no wonder it had such a tight grip on her stomach. Well, that's actually what Phoebe said to it. She said, no wonder you're feeling so tight if that's what you're worried about. And here's the cool thing. When Phoebe did that, she could feel her tight stomach begin to relax. She could feel that gripping, tense part of her beginning to calm down. And why did it calm down? The past hadn't changed. The things Phoebe did in the past had still been done. You know, the tense, gripping part calmed down because Phoebe was hearing it. Hearing its worries and fears, not telling this part of her that had nothing to worry about. No, she was validating it, saying to it, no wonder it was worried. And Phoebe stayed with this part of her for a long time, up to maybe half an hour, really hearing its fears, hearing what it never wanted her to have to go through again. And her whole body relaxed even more. You know, the whole process brought her quite a sense of peace and calm. You know, this is called inner relationship, when you can treat a part of yourself as having its own reasons and its own purpose, and you can let it know you hear it and that it makes sense. And then you can feel in your body the difference that makes. And there's no validation better than that. Do you want more of my tips for calm in the midst of stress? There's a link below this video for my free e-course, Get Bigger Than What's Bugging You. In 5 simple lessons, you're well on your way to responding differently to the triggers of life. And here's to you, having a more peaceful life.